Hello, everybody. It's Romania Black, and we are on episode 13 of Attack on Titan. So, one thing, real quick, before I start talking about the episode, is that I finally got a new computer. My old laptop had lived for several years, but it finally kicked the bucket, and so I got a new computer, got it set up. I've done some test runs. Everything should go great. But one thing you'll notice during the reaction is I'm actually going to be looking up at my computer screen now because it's actually on a stand and I'm looking up at it. So that's going to be a little bit different than normally I'm looking down at a laptop, and now I'm going to be looking up at the computer. So fun times. But that's the only thing that's going to be different about the reaction, other than maybe you can see my bookshelf now in the background. But this episode, oh my gosh, I'm pretty excited. We're at the halfway point after this episode. The series is going to be halfway over with the conclusion of episode 13, Primal Desires. And last episode was probably the most nerve-wracking, stressed out I've been watching this show, which we're not even halfway through season 1. We still have 3 more seasons to go after this. I'm just gonna be a puddle of goop by the time this is all over, and you guys will just like scrape Romania off the pavement and throw her away. I thought Banana Fish broke me, but this show might break me more. I don't know yet. What I do know is that Armin is officially best boy. I'm sorry. My brother, when I started watching the show, he was saying, oh, Armin's... I was like, how do you not like Armin? Like, Armin is a strategist. He's like the glue holding him and Mikasa and Eren together. He's the rational one. Yeah, he's not the physically strong shonen protagonist, but he's basically been responsible for everybody being alive at this point, with the exception of Eren in the Titan. I think Nathalie commented and said it was like called Meat Mecha. I'm like, that's so perfect. But with the exception of Eren and his Meat Mecha, it's pretty much been Armin and Jean and the other troops from the 104 regiment that have been keeping things together. And I want to give a shout out to Jean too, because Jean is becoming one of my favorite characters in the show. He's flawed. He has flaws. He gets jealous. He's a coward, but he's like one of the most relatable people in this show. If I was in Attack on Titan, I would probably be Jean because I'd be freaking out. Or I'd be Sasha, but I don't know if I'd have the courage to shoot a grappling through a guy's leg to save him, like she did for Samuel. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. But what I do know is that this show, the last episode gave us little lore bombs. It gave us insight into Eren's mind in the Titan. It's given us insight into Armin and Jean. I'm really worried for Jean because he thinks he's going to go get that equipment. And I'm like, there's a Titan there. The one saving grace, it's like there's 2 things that have not showed up yet in this whole fight. That one I'm really excited about and one I'm really fearful for. The fearful one is the armored Titan. We haven't seen him still after 5 years, and the colossal Titan appeared, but the armored Titan hasn't. So that has me a little worried. But we haven't seen Levi's troop reach the others, and so I'm wondering. It still says the battle for Trost, so I'm wondering if Levi's group. It looked like they were going to head that way, so I wonder if they're at the very end of this battle going to show up and defeat all the rest of the Titans, because Mikasa made a note that she said it was basically going to be a problem with all these Titans coming through the gate while Eren's trying to block the hole, if he gets to do that. And so I wonder if Levi's group's going to come in and take care of the Titans whilst Eren is plugging the hole with the rock. I don't know. That's my guess, but we shall see. But I'm really excited for this episode because after this, we're going to be halfway through. I've seen, it's not on Funimation, which is what I'm watching on, but I've seen on Crunchyroll, they have the Since That Day 13.5 episode. I think it's just a recap. I don't think there's anything important in it. I'm going to be asking Patreon first, so by the time you guys see this on YouTube, I'll have already asked Patreon, but I'm going to ask Patreon on Discord if I need to watch it and react to it, or if I can just watch it before episode 14 and kind of go through everything. So there's that. But otherwise, I'm pretty excited for this episode. I'm not going to lie. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. So let's do the darn thing, shall we? We are going to start episode 13 of Attack on Titan here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Oh. On the one hand, I really liked this episode, and the ending has me really hyped for lots of reasons, but if Marco just died, I'm really sad. I was starting to tear up there when they said when Jean said Marco had died. I was starting to tear up, and then all the stuff with Levi and Eren happened, and it kind of distracted me because it was so crazy. But I mean, what a way to end half the season. What a way to be halfway through the season. Holy crap. There was a lot that happened this episode, but I'm really, really sad about Ian, about Marco. I thought Rico was going to die. I was for sure thought Rico was going to die, and I was like, I want her to talk more with Eren, and she lived, but God, there's a lot of stuff that happened this episode, and I'm just like, if Marco did die, my heart is broken. Like, part of me wants to believe that he's not dead because that woman said that they hadn't recovered all the bodies yet. And for a second I was like, oh, he doesn't look like Marco. But then she said it had been 2 days. And so, yeah, rigor mortis and everything had set in and his eyes were sunken and everything. And then when they showed the freckles, I was like, oh no. So it's going to be hard rewatching this episode, but we need to go back through it because there's a lot. There's just a lot happening. So we did get a pretty lengthy recap there from the start. We got a pretty lengthy recap there going through everything. And it is so satisfying, this episode, in so many ways. I think one of the biggest satisfactions was the look on Ian's face when it succeeded. Because it's like it was like a big moment where Ian's character realized my decision as a leader was not in vain. It worked. It was successful. Like, I didn't just make this decision and put all these people's lives in jeopardy for it to not mean anything. And that's like Rico at the end. She's like, their deaths weren't in vain. Like, we got this done. And the sad thing about all of it is, as Pixis, it's noted when they get the order that it was a success, the sad thing is that despite this victory, the first time they've won a battle against the Titans ever, they still lost 200 men and 900 were injured. So there's over 1,100 people potentially injured or dead because of this, and it's considered a victory. Like, for me, that just says we have a long way to go. A long way to go. And so what I want to do is pull up Crunchyroll and pull up that middle part here while I'm talking with y'all. But oh my gosh, the Armin getting through to him, that was wonderful. I absolutely loved that. And then just the game plan of protecting him as long as they could, like, that was But I can't believe, I mean, I knew that in this battle there was going to be a lot of sacrifices made and a lot of people dying, but if we lost Marco just now, we didn't even get to see how he died. We didn't even get to see it. I need to rewatch it. All right, so I've got Crunchyroll pulled up, so we're going through it. But oh my gosh, there's so much that happened in this episode and so much symbolism, and I feel like it's one of those episodes that y'all are going to comment down below and be like, just wait till season 4 when all this stuff comes back. And it's like, that's the one thing I'm excited about the show, is to see these little moments come back full circle, and I feel like it's going to do that. Like, this is one of those iconic episodes it's the midway point of season 1, where it's one of those iconic episodes that I feel like the image of him with the boulder looking like Atlas going up the side of the hill, it's like, oh my gosh, like, just this embodiment. The funny thing is, it's like an embodiment of mankind, like this muscled up, just like bare bones, naked, nude man pulling this boulder. It just looks like mankind in the flesh, but it's a Titan, so it's so weird. But just the symbolism of mankind standing up and taking back what was theirs, even if for like a fleeting moment, I think is so powerful. So I feel like this midway point is one of those episodes that I'll look back on and be like, man, remember when that happened? Remember how important that was? But you'd think I'd be used to these Titans by now, but I'm not. They're still creepy. They're still weird. And they all just look awful. But we need to talk about Armin and Eren and Levi and Jean. Like, there's so many people to talk about, because this wasn't just Eren, and that's what I like about this episode too. It wasn't just Eren that got the job done. It was Mikasa and Armin and Ian and the others protecting him. It was the people that sacrificed themselves so that he could move the boulder and do the thing. And then even afterwards, I like that this show thought of, okay, well, after the fact, we still got to protect Eren because he's got to get out of the Titan to get saved. So there's all these different points that had to happen in this episode for it to be a success. And they pulled it off, but it did not come without sacrifice and without a price. And so, oh my God, I want to talk about that. So, Jean, when he stepped out of that house, I was like, dude, if you'd waited like 5 minutes more, that one Titan would have left. The thing that I kept getting frustrated by in this episode was that a lot of the troops weren't killing the Titans. They were just distracting them. They weren't physically killing them. They were like stepping on them or gouging an eye or distracting them. I'm like, why don't you just cut the back of the neck? Like Mikasa and Ian were doing. But I guess, one, if you didn't have the confidence that you could do that, then sure. But also, it seemed like they were all just trying to distract in the moment to let Jean escape, that they weren't maybe thinking of killing the Titan in that exact same moment. So maybe that was it. But it was so frustrating. I was like, just slice their necks off. I kept wanting to be like, just do it and just get them out that way. But no, we could not do that. So oh my God, I can't believe what happened. And of course, and I don't blame Jean, because I've done a simulation at work where we had to simulate it was a shooter drill, and I hated it. But we had to simulate what you would do, like if you had to do a tourniquet or something to like stop the bleed, or if you had a thing. I'm awful at it, for the record. I'm not the person you want saving your life, because you just sit there and fumble with it. You're like, because you're so stressed out in the moment that you're like, oh crap, I gotta figure this out. And so when Jean was messing with the belt buckle and it wouldn't come undone, I was like, dude, I've been there. It's not easy. You think it's going to be easy, but when someone's timing you and it's under a stressful situation, it's not easy. So I like the realism of him struggling with it and being like, yeah, no, that would happen in real life. That's good to note. But I love that Connie and Annie and Marco come in. And okay, so Marco had the white shirt underneath. I'm trying to look now because I want to see if anything happened and I missed it. And these Titans look so angry. And they're like, Jean, calm down. And Marco lured it away. And if that was the last time that we saw Marco, I'm going to be so sad. Like him just leading him away. If that's the last time we ever saw Marco, him leading that Titan away so that Jean could escape, that's going to suck so much. That makes me so sad. Nope. Okay, so Jean getting out of there. And then, why is it so hard to pull the trigger? So I'm wondering if the gear that he got messed up when the guy hit the ground and hit the boulder, if the gear got messed up and that's why it wasn't working properly. Also, this Titan with the little Gomez mustache. What the heck? What the heck is that about? And then Connie's like, I'm distracting him. And those Titans are like just grabbing bricks and everything. The problem is there's so many bodies on the ground during this whole scene that I can't tell if any of them Marco or any of them are anyone else. It's like, what the heck is happening? But them just saving him. And, okay, wait. So they all get back. Okay, so Marco's there with them when they got out of the building. So that's not the last time we've seen Marco. So they all got there. And that's when they noticed Eren with the boulder. That he had the boulder and was doing it. And God, what a shot. Like I imagine one of the most iconic shots of this series is him holding the boulder to get it to the hole in the wall. Like that's amazing. Like that shot is just incredible. I absolutely love it. Okay, and he notices Mikasa and Armin. He notices them. He recognizes them. So he's conscious enough to know that they're there. So I wonder if when he first turned into a Titan, if maybe the whole stress of it, he just wasn't paying attention and he was so focused and he had such rage that he was focused on killing the Titans. They just didn't notice him. But he noticed him this time. And so then, yeah, they all go down there to help let Eren get to the boulder. And Ian and them order that as well. And Ian's like... And so then Matabi and them are on the ground. So I don't know if they ran out of gas. They could have ran out of gas. And that's why they're on the ground, Matabi and them. But man, when they got the Titan's attention, that was terrifying. They just whipped their heads around and were like, excuse me? Nuh-uh. Nope, not having it. And then they come in, and it's not that they're slow, they're actually pretty fast. Going on the ground is suicide. Without horses or buildings, they can't fight. Because they can't attach onto a building, they can't get in. And he's like, no, this is the only thing we got left. God. And they all follow Watabi's squad to save Eren. And then it's clear that Eren's like just burning up all this energy right now. He's just using up all this energy and burning everything. He says, I feel like I'm about to be mashed into a pulp. Because that boulder is clearly heavier than he is. So it's like doing everything he can just to move it. And then he notices them. And yeah, when you get up close to the Titan, you can see his eyes and everything. That's so crazy. Oh my God. And they're just grabbing them and eating them. And then just either one of them steps on him or a house falls on him. It's just, Watabi just dies. He just straight up dies. Like, just gets killed instantly. Like, doesn't even get eaten by a Titan. He's just crushed. I couldn't believe it was that quick and that fast. Like, just like that, and he was gone. And that girl got eaten. But that idea that the primal desires is like, as humans, to deny us freedom, we're going to try to strive to be free no matter what. Like, you can't cage us in, is basically what he's saying. Like, humans, their primal desire is to be free. We want to be the freest people in the world, and whatever gets us that. And then Ian sees someone getting eaten, no matter how terrifying the world is. And oh my God, and Ian saved them. That was the thing. Ian saved that person. Someone was in the Titan's mouth and Ian saved them and got decapitated. Oh my God. And Armin and Mikasa, they can't do anything about it. They just have to keep going. Okay, and Marco, we see Marco look back towards the building, but then we don't see him again. I'm trying to find out if we see where Marco gets hit or hurt. And then Rico comes in to... That shot of Rico killing that Titan was so badass. Like, her just, like, slamming the blades against the neck. Like, hell yeah. And that was Mikasa, too, wasn't it? No, that was Mikasa that did it, not Rico. But so damn good. So damn good. Like, her and Rico and Mikasa coming in. But, oh, God. And that Titan of Eren's just... And Armin crying, being like, just do it. And him slamming the boulder down and sealing it up. Oh my God. I can't believe Ian saved that man. Ian saving that soldier so that... And a really important thing is being brought up in all of this, and that is the idea of what happens after a Titan attack, like the damage control. But, yeah, Rico. Everyone didn't die in vain. And then her pulling up the signal and everything. So, okay, I want to get to this, the evac team. Okay, so, information we can share so far. History of the war against the Titans. The oldest available records say the Titans appeared 107 years ago, and they devoured most of humanity. Okay. 107 years ago. Most of humanity eaten. Humanity retaliated with cannons, but they were useless in the face of the Titan's regenerative ability. And they were on the ground, too. So that didn't do much. So we're led to believe that until 107 years ago, humanity was pretty much all the same as it was, somewhat. So that's interesting. But it's the year 845, and we know this is Earth. So what happened 845 years ago? Because only until 745... or 740 or whatever, was there not a threat of the Titans. Interesting. Questions and mysteries, friends. So yeah, I'm sorry, but they finally, I was curious what would happen if you forcibly cut someone out of a Titan. And you can do it apparently, because Rico's like, chop chop, get out. And Armin's like, maybe we shouldn't do that, but Rico's like, no time. It's like, and he's very, very hot. And you can see like he's got burns on his face. Like his face is like burnt from that, from where it was attached to his face. Ugh. And they're trying to like just cut him out of there. And it instantly disintegrates. She's like, nope, slicing and dicing. But then I'm sorry, them in the face of the Titans, the most badass entrance out of anybody. Levi just showing up, and Eren opening his eyes to see Levi come in, and Armin thought it was Mikasa at first. Yeah, talented like Mikasa, but no. And that pose of him just with his back to them holding the swords, looking the most badass as possible. Like, I'm sorry, but here's the thing. I told you all in the last couple reactions, I was worried. I didn't think Eren and Levi would get along. I thought Levi would instantly, and he kind of is at first. Levi is very untrustworthy towards Eren and mistrusting and not having any of him at first. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. But he kind of changes his tune. But I really want to know, I've wanted to know since episode 1 what the chemistry between Levi and Eren is going to be. Because they're the main, when you hear Attack on Titan, even though I knew nothing about it, the two characters I knew about were Eren and Levi. I didn't know anything about Eren and Levi, but I knew what they looked like, and I knew they were the two main characters. And so since episode 1, I've been wanting to know, how do these characters interact? What are they like? Like, how does that even work? And so that's really interesting to me that we finally, at the midway point of season 1, get to see them together, and Eren looking up. And it's not that he sees Levi, he sees the emblem of the Survey Corps and the wings of freedom. This whole tide of primal desires and freedom. He sees those wings and he thinks, that's what I want. Because if you're in the Survey Corps, you're going beyond the wall. You're going where there's freedom. And so that, it's not that he sees Levi, he sees the Survey Corps emblem. And then Levi looking down, and I'm sorry, Levi has the most bemusing expression. Like, he just looks down and I'm like, what the hell are you guys been doing? Like, you know, his eyes just glimmer. Like, there's just something about him. I'm like, author, his character fascinates me. Just, he says, hey brats, what's going on here? I'm like, how old are you, Levi? Are you about the same age as them, or are you mid-20s? Like, I want to know how much older Levi is than them. I'm assuming we're going to find that out. So yeah, we get the aftermath of Trost. So I'm assuming this is the last part of Trost. And Hannes, we see him fighting everything so Walrose could withstand the Titans once more. So it's funny, they talked about how the cannons couldn't stop the Titans' regenerative ability, but if you fire from above, you just keep firing until they're dead. And so that's all that they did, was for a whole day, they just fired on these Titans until they were all gone, until the Survey Corps could mop them up before they could regenerate. So the thing of it is, and they caught 2 of them. They've never caught 2 before, so I don't know if Eren, it doesn't seem like Eren helped with that, but they captured 2. So I'm very curious, one, why they haven't captured them before. I guess because they haven't been in the position where they could. They weren't in the position where they were winning that they could capture 2 Titans. So they captured a 4-meter and a 7-meter Titan alive. So what are we going to do with those, I wonder? And they've got them like just all gripped with their necks, and it looks like they have nails, like spikes, railroad spikes, keeping them in the ground. So that's insane. Oh, that's crazy to me. So I'm curious to know what we're going to do with the Titans that they've captured. But then the idea of the aftermath. That's what I find most interesting about this episode, is the aftermath of a Titan attack. Like, what do you do? Because I hadn't really even considered that. I hadn't thought about it. One, that they're wandering around, they're gathering up all of the dead, but there's also the idea of disease and infection, and about like the posthumous. It's kind of like the plague. Like, you got to get the dead off the streets, but you can still get diseases and stuff from them. So they're like, we don't want to risk an epidemic. So that's interesting to me, that whole idea of just the disease and the aftermath. Like, that's very, very realistic, and I like that in this show. But we got John going around with his gloves on, looking, I can't, no. And so there's the guy there, his whole arm's been taken off. Like his whole side was taken off. And we don't get to see Jean's face. We just see his eyes. And of course it's like half his whole head is gone. And this woman, the woman doctor, that she looks so like she's seen some shit. But this couldn't have happened to him. And then Jean starts to lose. He's like, did anybody see how he died? She's like, just tell me his name. And she, like, her eyes are so dead. She's like, it's been 2 days since the hole was sealed. We haven't finished collecting the bodies. At this rate, there could be an epidemic. And her eyes, like, she's like, we need to avert a second tragedy. Like, you can see that she's been in this situation quite a bit. Oh my God. But no. Okay, and see, in the Crunchyroll one, they don't show his freckles. So it's like, well, maybe that's not him. Let's get back to work. Oh my God, no. I want him to show up next episode and be alive, but... And then Sasha, okay, this whole thing... I'm glad that I'm watching the Funimation, because the animation is a little bit different, but Sasha, where a Titan threw up, they don't have digestive organs, so after they've eaten all they can, they just throw up in just a big glob. And Sasha's like, oh my God. And it's funny that Sasha's character's seeing this, because she's the character that's kind of a glutton. Like, she eats all the time. She eats all the bread and all the potatoes. So this is like, when you can't eat anymore, this is just the Titan throwing it all up. Oh, because yeah, they don't have any digestive organs, do they? There's no way to identify anyone in this. I kind of hate that. And I'm like, are they going to cut it open? So who was that? Who was that? She said, I'm sorry. She said, I'm sorry. I'm like, is that Connie? No. Annie says, I'm sorry. Was that Connie? No. No. Oh my God, no. I don't want to believe that's Connie, but then why would Annie be so sad? No, show! Oh, God. Okay. So, we've got one more scene to talk about, and that is the jail cell scene. So, Erwin and Levi. I really want to see more of Erwin, because he seems interesting. So he says, the leader of the Survey Corps Strike Force, Commander Erwin, who looks pretty badass. And then Captain Levi, who just looks like he doesn't even want to be there. He doesn't even look like he wants to be there. He's just looking off like, whatever. Oh my God. And they're like, and they put him in a dungeon. I wasn't surprised by this part, because it's like, yeah, Levi, you did the deed. You helped everything, but the government ain't going to trust you to be by yourself. They're like, you're the only one that we know of. They can turn into a Titan, so we're not going to just let you roam around free. We're going to use you, and that means we need to keep control of you. So yeah, they have the chains and stuff, but I'm like, if he just bites his hand, what's that gonna do? He's just gonna break out of the chains. So yeah, the military police retain custody. So, and they just received permission to speak to him. And then he's got the key to the basement. Yep. So multiple people know about this key now. Erwin and Levi and all of them know that this key holds some secret to the basement. That worries me, because that makes me think that, one, the key is conveniently going to go missing. Someone's going to take the key and run with it, and Eren's not going to have access to it. That's my fear, is that somebody's going to run off with the key because of what's happened in this episode of them telling them what it is. Because Eren immediately just wants to go to the basement, but something's going to happen to that damn key now that Eren doesn't have it. Like, Erwin's going to keep it, or he's going to lose it, or someone's going to steal it from him. Something's going to happen, and I don't like that. And Levi points out something very convenient. He's like, your dad's gone missing and you have amnesia. It's like, that's a pretty convenient story. And I like that Erwin's like, quit being a negative Nancy, Levi. He's like, we know that he's not trying to lie to us, so quit nagging him. Don't agitate him. And so, yeah, I like that they ask, what are your intentions? Which is what Warman should have asked from the get-go. Warman didn't ask what his intentions were. He said, are you human or not? And that was the thing. He's like, but Erwin's like, I don't care what you are. He's like, what are you going to do? And so I do like that Erwin establishes that they think the Colossal Titan and Armored Titan are people too. Like, I like that's kind of what's being hinted at here. Yeah, the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan are the same in principle as you. So we're establishing that they're people. And so that's a problem. And he's like, you're the key that can save humanity from despair. Not this key to the basement, but you. So what are you going to do about it? And again, Eren with them eyes. Eren's eyes are so iconic in this show. Like, they're just so full of, like, raw chaos and rage. And when he's like, I'll kill him. I'll wipe every last Titan off the face of the earth. And Erwin's like, answer up. What do you want to do? And then that look. Oh my God, that look. That look. I want to join the Survey Corps and just slaughter the Titans. And his eyes look like he looks psychotic, as Eren do. And then the gleam. Levi gets a little gleam in his eyes, like, oh, that was the right answer. Not bad. So this is what I was getting at. This is the interesting part. I really wondered if Levi and Eren were going to get along or not. And at first I was like, just based on Levi's reaction to Eren, I was like, oh no, they're going to hate each other. This isn't going to go well. But in that moment when Eren says, no, I want to kill all the Titans, that's something him and Levi have in common. They both hate the Titans. They want to destroy the Titans and save humanity. And so that's their common ground. And so Levi's like, okay. And he tells Erwin that he's going to take responsibility for him. So tell the top brass, it isn't that I trust him. If he betrays or loses control, I'll kill him on the spot. And Levi has shown that he has the capability to do so. So that's important. They shouldn't complain, because only I can do it. Okay, he's like, you can join the Survey Corps. And he's going to take care of him. So, and I like this metaphor, this symbolism here of Eren. It's funny. The symbolism is Eren's in the cage. Eren is in the jail cell trapped. And Levi is the one that's going to set him free. Levi's setting him free. But Levi is also, Eren's the key to them being free in the end. So it's kind of like a nice symbolism there. But holy cow. So this was a really good episode. But I'm not ready to accept that Marco's dead. Or possibly that Connie's dead. I don't know. We don't get to see who Annie's looking at. I may watch Since That Day before watching episode 14 if it's just a recap. And if it shows us anything, I may talk about it before episode 14. But I'm in denial. If Connie and Marco are dead, I'm in denial. I don't want Marco to be dead. I want that to just be somebody that looked like Marco. But the Funimation one showed him with the freckles. So we might be toasting Marco next episode. But we're halfway through the season, y'all. We're halfway through, and we had our first victory against the Titans. Victory. And we finally got Levi. And Levi is officially in the story now, because if he's going to be following Eren around, he's going to become a main character. And I'm really, really excited about that. I'm excited to get more about Levi. I'm excited to get more about Erwin. I'm excited to get more about the Survey Corps. And it looks like since Eren wants to join the Survey Corps, that's going to be a prime focus of the story. And I'm really excited by that. The big question is, what is Armin and Mikasa going to do? Because I can see Mikasa joining the Survey Corps. I could see that. She's got the talent. I don't know if they're going to frown on Armin, but Armin's like a strategist. So I don't know if they're going to want Armin to join the Survey Corps, or if Mikasa and Eren are going to try to convince him to stay in the garrisons. I don't know. I'm not sure, because I don't think he made the top 10 to be in the military police. But y'all, this episode, holy crap. What an episode. Pretty iconic. Lots of stuff to think about. I need to have a glass of wine in honor of Marco if he is dead. At least in honor of Matabi and Ian, because those two... Matabi went out horribly, but Ian... I think that's the saddest thing, is that Ian, as a leader, got to see his plan possibly go to fruition and see that his choices weren't in vain. And then he died saving someone. And then Eren was successful. So Rico could even say, like, see, Ian, your plan wasn't all in vain. Like, you didn't die for nothing. So, yeah. Yeah. I want to see Eren react to some of these deaths, though, because Eren has been, up until this point, not given the opportunity to really react to any deaths. And he's just kind of, like, solely focused on killing the Titans, which, fine, he's kind of stuck in that position, but we see all these other characters kind of mourn. Even when Mikasa sees Ian die, there's like a flicker in her eye where she recognizes that it happens and they have to keep going, but she recognizes it. But we haven't really seen that with Eren. So I'm curious to know if there's a moment in the aftermath where Levi talks to him and he gets that moment or not. I don't know. But in any case, I'm curious to know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for not spoiling me. I know it's so hard for you all to not spoil, but don't worry. Eventually I'll be caught up and we can talk about all the theories when we get to that point. But in the meantime, I'm curious to know your thoughts about this episode. Please comment down below. Please no spoilers, but have a wonderful week. Please stay safe and take care. And I'll talk to you all again real soon with more Attack on Titan.